Hello students, in this class we are planning to take certain symbolizations. We will learn the symbolization techniques which are used for quantification theory and we will also understand that how we need to symbolize and what are the things which we need to remember. So we will take around 15 symbolizations today which are of different I will say types. So that will help us in understanding what are the things which we should remember in order to symbolize these things. Here we go. So these are certain kind of techniques which we will be using, and I have taken around 15 examples from different types of books which are available, and we will try to understand that how we need to symbolize them. Now, the first question, if you see, the first question says that no one but a criminal is in penitentiary. Now, penitentiary is basically a word which is used for, you can call it jail or cells, right? So in US, this terminology is very much used, that somebody is in penitentiary, right? So the question says that no one but a criminal is in penitentiary. Now, we want to understand that what does this phrase mean? No one but. It is like none. It is exactly the same as here. So no one means none. None but a criminal is in penitentiary. Now, how we will symbolize it? Now, as you can see that it is talking about all the criminals. But whether it is the case that all criminals are in jail or all people who are in jail are criminals. So none, the usage of none basically says that it is like all those who are in penitentiaries are basically criminals. So if we symbolize it, we will symbolize it like with universal proposition or the universal quantifier, and we will say if X is in penitentiary, then it implies, I will copy this implication from here and I will put it here, implies that he is a criminal, right? And I will put the brackets over here. So this will be a proper symbolization of this thing. So this is the first question which I was talking about, that when we need to understand how to understand no one but, it is nothing but none. So if we understand this, so it will be easier for also for us to symbolize this one. None but the brave deserve the fair. So it will be symbolized as like for all X, if X deserves fair, so we put it like this, then we will put the implication sign. So it means that X is brave. So this is going to be the symbolization for this proposition. So you can see that both no one but and none are exactly the same expression, right? So we also need to understand that here this part will go in front and this part will go here. Similarly, here this part has gone in this side and this brave has come to this side. So these are certain things which we need to understand. Now, next question. Only snakes and lizards thrive in the desert. Now, as you remember that when we symbolized only citizens can vote, so only also says that it is going to be a necessary condition. Like this also makes this is a necessary condition. This also makes that is a necessary condition. So this is something which will go on this side and this will come on this side. So our symbolization will be for all X, if X thrives in the desert, right, then it implies that X is either a snake or X is a lizard. Because now I do not need to explain you that uh, we need to put a wedge sign, right, for an and expression, because here the same thing cannot be the snake as well as the lizard. So I will put these brackets over here so that our symbolization looks proper. So this is going to be the next symbolization. Now, if we have the next question, there is a round square. Now, many people confuse that, oh, this is a wrong or an incorrect statement, right? And it is definitely true that it is basically a contradiction, right? Something which is round is not going to be a square. It can never be true. But then we have to symbolize it. Now, how to understand the symbolization of this? Now, the symbolization of this clearly says that there is a round square. Now, first thing is that it is an existential quantifier, because they are talking about that there is something, there is means existence. So there is existing, thing which is round and which is both square. So I will copy this mark from here so that we can use it here. So we will put it like there exists x such that x is round and x is a square. Now, this is going to be the symbolization of this question. So you understand that we need to understand these techniques, or we need to understand these things which are used over here. So now next question. Uh, Cats and dogs bite if they are frightened or harassed, right? Now it talks about all cats and dogs. This is something, the first thing which you should understand. And what they are saying that these cats and dogs will bite if they are frightened or harassed. Now I will put the universal quantifier here. Now, if something is, if x is frightened or x is harassed, because if you see here, there is an if, so it means that this part will come forward and this part will go backward. So we will write it like this. If something is frightened or something is harassed, then it will be either no, cats and dogs bite if they are frightened or harassed. Okay. Okay. So the next question is cats and dogs bite if they are frightened or harassed. So how we will symbolize it? This is a universal quantifier. So we will put it like this. And we know for cats and dogs, we will be using Cx wedge dx, because we know now that Cx and dot dx will not come, it will be wedge, because we know that this can be either cat or dog. Now they bite if they are frightened or harassed. So the thing is that we should put the implication sign over here like this, right? And then if something is frightened or harassed, then it is then it will bite bx. Okay, so this is going to be the expression, right? So it will say cx wedge dx implies fx wedge hx implies bx. Now this can sound a little bit confusing for us, that how we should understand that for all x, if x is a cat or x is a dog, then if x is frightened or x is harassed, then x bites. Now this is one way of understanding it. You can take it like this as well, and this may make the understanding simpler. I will copy all these things together from here and I will put it here. And if I put a dot sign, okay, because here, if you see here, what I should do is that I should use this sign and I should use this sign over here, and I will make a bracket over here. So this is the best symbolization which is possible with the help of brackets. Now here, what I will do, I will put a dot sign, hmm, because I can use exportation, right? So using exportation, I can make it like this, and I will put the sign over here like this, and I will make this as the third bracket as we use in logic, and I will symbolize it here. So if you see, I will remove the rest of the things so that you can see it very nicely and clearly. Here it says cats and dogs bite if they are frightened or harassed. So it means that for all x, if x is a cat or x is a dog, then if x is frightened or x is harassed, then x bites. Or you can say for all x, if x is a cat or x is a dog and x is frightened or x is harassed, then x bites. So both of them are equivalent expression. This and this, the first expression and the second expression, both are like the exportation of each other. But sometimes it is easier for us to read it like this and understand or symbolize. Sometimes it will be easier for us to symbolize it like this way. Okay, now let us come to the next question. Not every visitor stayed for dinner. Now what does it mean? if you take away this one, so it says every visitor stayed for dinner, so it is just the negation of for all x. So I can symbolize it like negation of for all x. Okay, if x is a visitor, then I will copy again the sign from here, so it will be easier. If x is a visitor, then x has not stayed for dinner, right? Not every visit, no, for dinner. Okay, like this will be the symbolization. So this is one way of symbolizing it, but it is also equivalent to, and I can take this equivalent sign from here and I will put it here so that you understand. This is nothing but, and it is equivalent to the expression like this. There exists x such that x is a visitor and x has not stayed for dinner. Okay, let us come to the next question. Now, next question says that not any visitor stayed for dinner. It clearly denies that any visitor has stayed for dinner. So it precisely says for all x, if x is a visitor, then x has, okay, I will put the implication sign from here. I will take it from here. So if x is a visitor, then x has not stayed for dinner. So this is just like an e proposition. So, and the same symbolization goes for this kind of expression as well, which says no visitor stayed for dinner. So both of them are equivalent expressions. So this is something which we also understand. Now let us come to the next question. Romans are not allowed. It precisely says that if you are a Roman, you are not allowed. So it is also like for all x, uh, for all x, if x is a Roman, because you can see that it is not having any all or no or this and that, but this not is actually not Romans are allowed, something like that. So in English, it will be said as Romans are not allowed, right? So if you are a Roman, then I will copy this sign from here and I will put it here. Then you are not allowed. So this is going to be the expression for this. Okay, now let us come to the next question. The next question says some medicines are dangerous only if taken in excessive amounts. So if they are taken in excessive amounts, then these medicines will be dangerous. So I will take this mark from here and I will put it here because it talks about some, so it means that some medicines are dangerous. So we will say mx is dangerous only if, so we will put the bracket over here, and if they are taken, I will copy it from here, only if they are taken in excessive amount. So it will be like this. So this is going to be the symbolization for some medicines are dangerous. Again, you can see that this is going to be the main connective, right? So when one thing which you should remember, and especially for the questions which you will be taking, is that more or less for these existential quantifiers, the main connective will be dot. And for universal quantifiers, the main connective will be an implication. However, there can be one or two cases which will be differing, but in most of the cases, this is going to be the thing. Okay, nothing is a dog unless it is an animal. So, in fact, it very simply says this thing for all x. Okay, it simply says that for all x, if x is a dog, then x is an animal. Right, but if you go to the literal meaning of this, it says, and I will take an equivalent sign from here so that we can use it here. This is equivalent to for all x, nothing is a dog unless it is an animal. Now if you see this unless, so it clearly says that it is a wedge function, right? So The other way of symbolizing it is negation of dx wedge ax. So this is the other way of symbolizing it. Both are exactly equivalent expressions, but if you see the expression of this sentence, so it very clearly says that we have to take it like negation of dx wedge ax, because this unless and this nothing is creating one negation over here, and this unless is creating this wedge over here. So this is the literal meaning, but it is nothing but an a proposition, right? So this was the thing. Now this question is sometimes very tricky. The next question which we are dealing with. Everything enjoyable is either immoral, illegal, or fattening. Now this is a saying, right? That if you enjoy something, then it is either immoral, or it is illegal, or fattening. Now how to symbolize it? For all x, if x is enjoyable, right? I will put a big bracket. Then, so I will take this from here. Then it is either immoral, illegal, or fattening. So you can understand that these three will come in wedge function. Now immoral is negation of moral, right? So this is the thing which we should understand. Then wedge, illegal, it is negation of lx, that is legal, and or say or fattening. So here there is nothing negation, so we will put this bracket over here and the last bracket over here. So this is going to be the symbolization. Everything enjoyable is either immoral, you can say not moral, not legal, or fattening. So this is the way you should pick up these things. Now next question. Pickles are edible unless they are rotten. Now this is like for all x. If x is a pickle, then, so I will take this mark from here, I will put it here. Then if they are edible, it implies that it is not rotten. This is the symbolization, or it is equivalent to, take this mark from here and I will put it here. So we can also symbolize it as for all x. If x is a pickle and x is edible, then x is not rotten. So I will take this mark from here, I will put it here, and I can put it like this, right? So as you know that I have used exportation in this case, and both of them are equivalent expressions. Next question. This is a interesting and a very good question. Among snakes, only copperheads and rattlers are poisonous. So we will take it like for all x. If x is a snake and x is poisonous, it implies x is either a copperhead or a rattler. So this is going to be the symbolization for this. So I can put the brackets over here like this, and it is also equivalent to this expression, which will say for all x, if x is a snake, then, okay, I have to put it like this, then if x is a snake, then if, now then if x is poisonous, then x is either a copperhead or a rattler. So this is going to be the symbolization. You can see that this is again, these both of these expressions are just like using the exportation, right? So we can understand the symbolization. Now if the question would have been among snakes, like suppose if I copy this question and I put up here like this. Copperheads and ratlets are poisonous. So what will be the change in the symbolization? I will put it like for all x. Then I will put this. I will put snakes. So among snakes, copperheads and ratlets. So this part, this part will now come in front, right? So I will take it and I will put it like here. I can put a dot here. So I will just put a dot like this and I will put it here in this way. So I need to use another marker, another bracket like this. So if x is a snake and so you can say it among snakes, copperheads and ratlets are poisonous. So if x is a snake and x is either a copperhead or a rattler, then then X is poisonous. So this is going to be the expression for it. So questions can be turned into a little bit like here and there, and you need to understand that how these symbolizations will change. So this is going to be the symbolization. Among snakes, copperheads and rattlers are poisonous. So it says that for all x, if x is a snake and x is either a copperhead or a rattler, then x is poisonous. So this is the symbolization for it. So I need to put a bracket more over here so you will understand it even better. Okay, I hope so that this is the last question. Okay, now a professor is a good lecturer. Now for all x, this is a question from your book only and you can check it in your book. If x is a professor, is a good lecturer implies, so I will use this implication sign over here and I will put it here, and then he's a good lecturer, so I can put it like lx. If and only if, now I need to use if and only if from this sign. This is equivalence, right? So we will take equivalence. He is both well informed, so he is well informed and entertaining. So I will put a bracket like this, I will put a bracket like this, and this bracket. Now the thing is that this question can be further broken because you can see good and lecturer can be divided. And how we can divide it, we can write it like this for all x. Now depends upon your scheme of abbreviation, but a more genuine way of symbolizing it will be a professor is a good lecturer. So a professor is good lecturer. So maybe some people will say that you need to divide it as gx dot lx, and then you have to put the rest of the things like this only. So you can copy it from here and you put it over here. So this is even more apt symbolization, but in your book also it is given as good lecturer is only one thing. But like suppose if somebody says that single men are decorous, right? Now if you have to symbolize this, so it will be for all x, if x is single and x is a man, then x is decorous, right? So this is going to be the symbolization for this terminology. And why I'm giving you this example, because you need to understand that you cannot take single men as one terminology, because x is single and x is a man are two different things altogether. Here also it can be taken, this good lecturer can be taken together, because x is good and x is lecturer, so x is good lecturer. But for me I will say, or in one way it will be like if you take both of them together, then it is not a simple proposition. So this symbolization is more apt by nature. So whatever, so we tried today a few questions and learned how to symbolize, right? So you need to understand that how we need to read it. No one is nothing but none. So, and this criminal will go this side, this penitentiary will come this side, right? So we said that for all x, if x is in penitentiary, then x is a criminal. None but the brave deserve the fair. So if x is fair, X deserves the fare, then X is brave. Here, only snakes and lizards thrive in the desert. So, if suppose something thrives in the desert, then either it is a snake or it's a lizard. So, these things you need to understand, read carefully, and these are basically symbolization techniques which we require for doing some sorts of questions. So, the idea was to take some questions and solve them fast so that you need or you understand the techniques, and you can solve the exercise which is given in both of your books which are provided by us. So keep solving a lot of questions, and if you have any doubts you can ask in the class. Thank you.